Hi again everyone, Cecihoney with the third video in the Cecihoney's Pixels segment. Last time we talked a bit of about the shapes, which is the most basic way for us to portray things, the most basic way we see through things. We talked a bit about curves and how making curves or diagonal lines in pixel art. So the basic line and the basics about using the hand-drawn tool or the straight line tool. So what we will do here is start to giving a bit of life to those things we did before. So yeah, the first thing you noticed about shape is that I used an outline. I could very well just paint my sword full black. I'm not picking the part now it goes. And I could have just a black sword silhouette, you'd still recognize it. And that's more like how people do things straight with line art. If I don't do line art, I still go through the line art process because I came from a drawing background, not like a painting background. I believe a lot of people who come from a painting background straight up go and do pixel art in a different way. I've seen people who just press on the pen and do some shape and then they sculpt it later on like digital painting. That's not my style for pixel art. I prefer to draw things and then if I don't use a contour I will paint it accordingly. But yeah, one of the cool things is that you can have like this black outline. It's quite useful. Good to talk about outlines here since we're more on the point of detail up and basics of coloring and volume. The black outline is cool to set your art apart from the environment, so it's cool for games, especially games where you don't have full control over the palette. Maybe some artist is doing the backgrounds, the other is doing the items and characters, and there is no set palette for the game. So it's best to have a black outline, so if a white dressed character, like someone with a space suit, full white space suit, is walking through ice or ice covered place or a tundra or something that's mostly white, they don't get mixed in with the background. You see that black outline define the character. There is colored outline, and that's what we'll start with here, and that's the technique I use mostly. And I use an extra rule. We talk about rules when we talk in styles. You make your own rules mostly, but if you are imitating someone's style, you must understand their rules. Because what makes a style or which sets if things work out well with each other is actually that. It's a set of rules which are consciously or not placed on some sort of artwork. So here we have a colored hilt. I'll leave the colored guard and the hilt will be still black. So we can have like a dark gray for that section, and we can have something here to represent some sort of gold. So basically here we have a lot of flats with the colors changed. Now if I want to just color the apple with paint bucket, I can do here and color the apple with the black outline. So for the purposes of that you seen this, let's see, if we want to add volume, we need to understand where light comes from. And in this example I will access here. I will talk just over light in a future video, just over that. Right now we're going just basics, just so you know the principle. But the basic principle here is there is light coming from this side of the sword. I am assuming it's coming straight from the side, not like from the background or foreground. It's straight up like front profile. So yeah, I use the color here. And this is the basic way to portray volume. You make some place lighter where lights near, and some places darker when things are away from light. You can still see that we use the light, the same color. I still use the same color of the light on the guard, sword guard. And you can see we made progress. If you are following this, you're trying to make this. This is some progress. It may seem small, but you see, like now I start to make the line art, the line art a little bit more interesting. I'm adding some color, some variety to the colors here, and that's about it. Let's see. Here, the sword has a lot more color now. It works a bit better. And here you go. Oh yeah, our sword is here, but I use this very messy default palette I made with some things I usually use. But I actually use those more placeholders because I always fine-tune my colors in a specific palette I use it for the artwork. So each software has it in some ways. The graphics Gale use it more like Photoshop. Some other softwares have an easier way to palette edit. But over here, to palette edit, I go to 256 colors. And now it just shows the colors I used, and the rest is a lot of black. So let's make the sword bleed with a little bit deeper color. So I go here and I keep changing it until I'm satisfied. Kinda cool, but not out there. There. I don't want the blade to be too light, especially because we are using a white background. I tend to use a pure white background. I don't use whites on the actual objects. Whenever I use almost white, not full white. If you see here, it seems white, but it's not white. This is white. The background is white. So yeah, another cool thing. You notice the color changing there as I right-click button. That's another graphics Gale cool function. Whenever you click the right button over some color, it picks that color. It changes the color you're using. So yeah, I can go there and choose a better color. Oh, and there is another cool thing. I can send this to a darker color to a transference point and start my middle tone straight from there and go a bit like this. So let me see if it works. Okay, too blue and too dark. Okay, much better. Now let's go for last color. Maybe a little bit more like this. Cool. Now it works. Let's go with the hilt. The guard. I keep switching the words. Hilt and guard. There's something we can do. No, yeah. I won't mess this up because this is the light. So I have to mess this up a little bit. So yeah, you can see now that I edited the colors that things look a little bit better. I will do some more. We will talk later about code shading and things like that. But yeah, as you can see, editing the color palette and then bringing it back to full color, so we have more options, is easier. You could also work fully in 256 colors. You can actually click on any black color here and set it to a new color and start working with it. It just was never be much like this, but you can do. I prefer to have like standard colors I can write and pick right away and do my stuff. because things work like that. So yeah, let's go to full color again. So we see now the sword has a bit of volume. We can do the same thing here for apple. We can give the apple a little bit of shading, and I am assuming the light spot in the same place regarding the apple. It's not like in a parallel dimension like the apple is a giant apple close to a sword, but for the purpose of this video that's quite okay, that's quite acceptable. No problem with giant apples, I suppose. A lot of video games actually have those giant items. I remember back in the old 8-bit era, we have like you are walking through the place and you pick a weapon or an item, they are not scaling with each other. And today some RPGs, when you open the menu, the apple icon will show us the same as a fruit icon. They'll just try to do the best to accommodate each image in the same frame size for an item, and that's perfectly fine. That's how things done. Think of I made it in scale for an icon in the game. The apple would be really tiny. It would be like if I put the J on the sword, it would be the size of an apple there. So it would be really not cool. But again, that's how we do. We can add, I'm adding some reflection to the apple, and you see, it's pretty simple stuff. We didn't take more than like 15 minutes, I suppose. But you can see, this is an apple, it has some reflection. Let's do the same thing for the leaves. Here, this is a very weird green I had here. But the overall green I had is not so much better here. Dark green, it's a bit strange, but it works for me at least. Now, yeah. So that's about it for the basics of coloring, contour, starting with the tail. I won't go to the character yet. We'll work with this guy later on. I will save this project here. But yeah, what you can do and what you've seen me doing can be done in any software. It can be done in Cecihoney, it can be done in MS Paint. So far I didn't use any function that is exclusive to GraphicScale. I don't think it has many two exclusive options besides the wonderful straight line tool. As I said, that's pretty cool. I go clicking and making an endless straight line unless I right click, and then I can leave it alone. So for making any large picture, that's quite helpful. So that's about it. See you next time. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you have any comments, please leave them below or send me an email. I try to reply when I can, and best of luck to you all. If you have suggestions of things you want to see me talking about this channel, I will do still more basic tips in the future, stuff that I think you need to know before you proceed. Those here are fundamentals. They can even be used with other techniques such as digital painting or digital illustration. It's more like color theory and a bit of shading and shape. This is basic art stuff. This is not just for pixel art, but everyone doing pixel art or drawing should study these things. You can study it further, read or watch videos of people making illustrations. Everything art is kinda related in a way. So yeah, that's about it. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.